Meeting to order. So can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have the recording of attendance, please?
Mrs. Castle?
Here.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Here.
Mr. Lanasee? Mrs. Mack?
Here.
Mr. Strang?
All right, so we'd like to review the agenda and ask if there's any additions to the agenda. Dr. Reardon, would you like to take 1.2?
I would be honored.
Okay, cool.
There are no additions to the agenda. Tonight is just basically a review of the budget, a overview of what that will include, and the tax rate. And of course, we'll answer any questions that might be asked.
Awesome. So then we're going to move right to 2.0, which is the budget hearing. And so would you like to just give us an update of anything that maybe we haven't heard thus far, since we don't have anyone in the audience?
I would be most honored. As you will recall, our last budget hearing, I'll just bring up kind of the big pieces. We have had no changes in reports from the state. No predictions in state aid have changed, which means that we are confidently ready to put forward to you, which you'll see in a budget newsletter that has been sent. I want to thank actually some people that did assist in the creation of that, and also some editing pieces. That will be going home to families and residents, including our Troy 12180 zip code, as we know some of those people are not getting that, starting tomorrow. Actually, they'll be in the mail tomorrow. So basically, that outlines everything that we talked about, but I just want to kind of go over our main points. As you know, this includes a 2.3% levy. Of course, the rate will be determined later on, and that, of course, includes a balance of our aid. Remember, we're estimating conservatively. We just want to keep saying that piece. But also, just to put in some pieces of what that includes, it is a budget that includes a 2.3% levy, rate to be determined later, an increase of over about $408,000 in the overall 17-18 school year budget. So again, that's mostly in the program sense, and of course in the capital sense, because we'll be starting our payments. Our breakdown, of course, remains about the same, but just to point out, you'll notice that, again, our debt service is up and our program is up, and our administrative is down, which is always a good pace. So what does that include? Just to kind of recap for the record, again, that includes an increase of physical education of 0.2, so that'll include the reinstatement of health for our 8th graders, taught by our Coach Bateman. So that'll be a nice program, of course, that will be offered that, and that's not at the expense of another class. So again, it allows us to maintain the master schedule without cutting another class or program that goes into that. That's also the raises for the contract of that does include provisions to provide raises for our non-unionized employees, such as our bus drivers, custodians, etc. It does also include the potential negotiation of a contract with the teachers, again, that if ratified, that is included in this budget, which would be settled for 3 years. It's the maintenance of the 1.0 teaching assistant, which will be going into grade 4 for the larger classes. And again, those classes I mentioned before are kind of leveling out. That means we can maximize that support in other areas as well. So we'll be creative with that person as well, but maintaining that. The solid textbook line item, the tech line items, all those pieces that go with that as well. One big piece that will be a part of that is the science kits this year. We are obviously ELA and math we're pretty set for, but adding to our science kit repertoire is going to be key. Maintenance of our technology and software hardware. Reallocation of line items, and that also includes an increase of substitute teacher and teacher aide pay to at least recognize that we are somewhat on the lower end of the scale, but it does raise pay by $5 each rate, so certified and non-certified, which does help us keep ourselves competitive. And of course, the big piece is, besides the potential 3-year contract with WTA that is both fair, it does include one pre-K class. So again, just want to underscore that is one pre-K class in the new edition. And of course, these are our pieces. It also includes the return of one student from outplacement back in district, which is very exciting in programming for that one student. And maintaining our PD pieces as well, so that we're ready for our staff. If there are, of course, any reallocations of staff, those picking up that new child, and also, again, PD opportunities that are important K-8 as well. And of course, that last bullet I would say, so Darcy, go back to your original question, any other pieces, this could only help us, and that's what's nice about the budget not being built upon that. We are still pursuing the opportunity of leasing out space for particularly in the new wing in the areas that we can afford to lease, or afford to spare, still making our special ed students a priority for that space, but also that we could lease out that space and actually have additional revenue coming in, which only serves to help us. That's a good thing. So budget proposition number 1 remains the same. Again, the budget levy of $9,446,308. Bus proposition number 2, which again looks very considerable. That's one big bus and one small bus, with trading in one big bus and one small bus. They're the oldest in our fleet. All that's aidable. We'll use cash for that, of course, as well, so we're not borrowing. And this will be proposition number 3. That's basically the authorization to increase the bond to $5.63 million $5.639 million so that we can to account for increased costs and things that go with the construction project. So that is what we put forth in the budget newsletter, as well as our two candidates that are running for board election. And of course, these are all built around the district area of focus and board goals. So next steps, budget newsletter to be sent to the community. Approximately May 10th is when that we can expect that to arrive by the time it goes to the bulk rate mail. It's on our website though, and actually Jason McCord will be showcasing this year pieces of it, rather than just putting the newsletter and saying link to this. It'll be showcasing certain pieces each day. So for example, the phys ed increase, there'll be a piece on that. The pre-K class, the one classroom, rather than drawing everybody's attention to one document kind of idea. And of course, budget vote May 15th to noon in the music room. So this year it's in the general music room instead of the band room. Of course, there'll be plenty of signage. And that's our budget.
Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Very nice.
Any other questions?
None for me.
No, don't have any. This looks nice. It's going out to everyone in the
It is.
fair.
The layout, while there's some pieces we cannot control in layout, we did want to actually thank Ms. Castle for some assistance in allowing some change of verbiage that at least the editor allowed us to.
Cool.
Ms. Castle, thank you.
I only see one of my changes made, but that's okay.
Oh, no, we had 5.
Oh, okay.
Some
Looks
literally
good.
could not be done only because of the spacing.
Spacing. Looks good.
Literally the block of time,
A lot of good info.
Okay. Hearing no more questions, we can move on to 3.0, meet the candidates. That would be myself, Darcy Mack. Hi, everyone. So nice to meet you. Keith, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Keith Irakawa. Although, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I think we all know one another and there aren't any questions from the crowd. But happy to.
Yeah.
It's complicated to introduce yourself to an empty room.
But it was fun, wasn't
Yeah, I think that was not my strong point.
If you were comfortable, that would be disturbing though, too.
Play the card game.
Perfect. All right.
4.0
4.0, informational. 4.1, annual school board election and budget vote, May 15th, 2018, noon to 9 p.m. 4.2, regular Board of Education meeting, May 17th, 2018 at 7 p.m. And now is the big moment, 4.3. It's the opportunity for the public to be heard.
We have nobody signed up
No?
this evening.
Oh, that is
Interesting, okay.
Just so that you know, in case as a member of the public, Ethan we were talking about how the election process works, and I was telling him about write-ins,
Oh, okay.
and then he was saying maybe he would write in himself, and then we talked about that maybe he's not quite ready to vote, but he just thought that was super funny.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
And then he started coming up with a
It's just,
platform for his
Oh,
candidacy.
really?
It was very
Oh,
fascinating.
that's awesome.
He explained to me as a student, he knows better than all those adults do
Of course.
about what the school
Did you wait
needs.
for Mary, or did
Yes.
Darcy comment?
No, we're done.
You didn't have to rush here, Andy.
We're almost over.
But you're here.
That's very
good.
exciting.
Mm.
So you want to record that Andy's here? We're at 5.0. Is there a request for executive session? Hearing none? Okay. So we're at 7.0, adjournment. Can I have a motion?
Moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.